Hi, I'm Kurt from Oz Armour and welcome to Workshop Wednesday. So where are we today, Daryl?
We're at our storage facility. There's some really good stuff in here. It brings a smile to my face every time I walk in. It always amazes me. I only come up here every few months. There's stuff come in all the time or stuff that's been buried that I get to see for the first time. If you're watching this, you're keen on Armour, you guys. This is like an Aladdin's cave. There's stuff here that I thought I'd never see in my lifetime. And to be able to see, come and touchy-feely, it's absolutely fantastic.
To bring in the new year, we thought we would officially announce one of Daryl and Jesse's projects for 2025, a running Panzer II C, lowercase c that is. What makes this project so exciting is that it's one of the most complete parts packages we have ever had the privilege to work with.
We've got the brake drums, the outside hubs for the final drives. We've got the barrel for it. It's a 2cm KWK, original grey paint. Then you look under here, this one's got a bit of, like, would have been the Dunkelgelb colour by the look of it.
So we'll get all this running, or?
Well, we hope to. It's one of those things you won't know exactly until you pull it apart to see how it works. See this piece here? Probably about 35 mils solid metal with two fittings either end. See it going between where the two rear idlers sit? I think it must be like an extra stiffener or something. If someone knows exactly what it is, please let us know.
The book we're referencing here is part of a series called Achtung Panzer by Mitsuru Bito. It's by far one of the most comprehensive and detailed books we've ever come across, and is going to be invaluable as we continue to restore and add to our collection of World War II German panzers.
Bit of work here for all of us in the workshop. Steve will have a bit of work to do, Glenn will have a bit of turning to do.
Because we want to make this a runner, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is the Panzer II turret. The one for our lowercase c is on the water as we speak. We're waiting for it to arrive. This is a F model, I believe. The difference is the rectangular hatch on top. It's also different at the front here. Has different armoured visor blocks. This is part of the floor for the Panzer II we'll be doing. And then behind here is a Panzer II turret ring.
An original one?
Original one. So we're using that on the lowercase c. This is Panzer II track. Some of it's going to take a bit of work to get it working again. More Panzer II track here with an original track holder bar. It mounts to the front of the tank or the rear of the tank to hold the spare track. Yeah, that's all Panzer II there as well, and track pins over the back. So what we've got here is the largest size wheels that we'll be using. Some are steel, some are aluminium. Someone's welded in a plate with a smaller bearing for a farm cart or something like that. As long as the bearing surface isn't too badly damaged, we can use it. There's the size of the bearings that would have been in over there. Some more wheels over the back there. That's a smoke discharger that goes on the back of the vehicles. This is the top here. Oh, bits falling off. I'll have to dig that out now.
These look very familiar.
Yeah. See, these sprockets here. Some of these, and rear idlers, I think there's 2 or 3 different types in there. Panzer II suspension bits in here, but if you put the tank down and all its weight's resting on, they're not working, you've got to pull everything apart again. So we've decided to go ahead and get brand new springs. That could be the box that holds machine gun parts or ammo. We've got another really good box here somewhere that has Panzer III, IV written on it. We'll lay all this out when the time comes and go through and see what's usable and what's not. Like this linkage arm here. You know, we won't use that part possibly because it might be fatigued, but we'll use all the fittings where we can. You have to film it now when I'm trying to work out how it goes.
Yeah. What is it?
This is the rear of a Panzer II. These two pieces go together. I'm just trying to work out how the cut lines work. This is the bottom, that's the top. There's a tow hook here with a ring, and there's your exhaust cover. Goes on like that. And then what's just recently come into the museum is a piece for the other side. That tow hook mounts approximately here on the rear. And then over here, you can see the amazing selection of vision blocks that we got. This one here is on a flat surface, a vertical surface, because you're looking square out of it. That's possibly of a hull side, and then you get an angled bit. See, like that, you can't really see through. There's a lot of different sorts that we've got here. This one's a good one, where the vision block's held in. The lock for it. Some have got original paint, some have been primed, some are blank. This is a mount for the 2cm. If they've been in storage and they're being covered up and they're actually inside the turret, they don't get a lot of weathering on them, so we're quite happy.
I imagine that'd be rare as well.
Well, It's the only one I've seen. We've got this deflector that went on the top of the superstructure, some more shock absorbers. That's a turret top of something else, an early one with a rounded cupola. Return rollers, some of the real early aluminium checker plate that we haven't been able to source. This is a real interesting piece. It's a little protective cover for the convoy light on the rear. It goes up against the rear hull, and this is where the wires come out. So this is to protect the wiring going to the convoy light. They're like little bump stops that'll fit in the suspension unit here, so it stops it from going too far. And it'll also turn so it doesn't jam up on it. You couldn't ask for a better Christmas present, something we don't have to do a lot of work on. This is our rear engine deck.
All intact.
All intact.
Straight.
All, well, a major piece like this, in this condition, is fantastic. These go on the front of the turret. This one's the vision ports. This one's still got the little aluminium knob handle for adjusting it, and little notches to set it at the opening positions. And then this one here is for where the MG34 goes. Pretty good stuff. I believe this is for the Panzer II as well. This is the fan for the engine. A bit more of the early checker plate. Some more suspension gear. A little holder for the radio inside the tanks.
It's amazing how much aluminium there is.
Well, on the early ones, yeah. But then these are all pre-war, or very early in the war, and then they needed all the aluminium for aircraft production. Earth clamps still on it. Yeah. These little clips that the Germans used on all the ammunition boxes.
Oh, they use them on everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Once again, is that 1939? Dated? Is it? Zoom in, I can't see it.
Sure is.
Yeah, the Waffen stamp.
It's one thing to just pull things out and have a look at them, but we really wanted to get a sense of the scale of the project.
I want to get this bit out because this is a really good piece to show you.
So we went ahead and pulled out some parts of the superstructure and laid them out on the ground. This port on the hull side has some shard of its original armoured glass still stuck in there. The glossy rubbery stuff is what was laminated into it to prevent it shattering in case it received a direct hit.
No, that'll do. Beautiful, look at that. I'm standing in the superstructure parts we have for our Panzer II. We've got a bit of the upper deck, but it's tucked away right up high in the shelving. The engine deck that we showed you earlier, and we laid out, put some of the hatches on it that we've got. The other part of the engine deck here. This is a beautiful piece. The hinges still work on it. Yeah, we've got two front plates. We've put this one in to show you so everything would link in. But you can see this is an upgraded model with the additional 2 centimetre bolted on armour. This is a nicer piece, but with those original holes in it, we don't want to use that. What we'll do is we'll repair this piece here. That's more appropriate to the model we've got. So we'll use the other one behind it to check dimensions.
And for a different project?
Well, possibly for a different project in the future. I've just spotted over here. I'm pretty sure this is the side of a Panzer II as well, a bit of turret. Give you an idea of how some pieces come to us. We'll end up putting that together with other parts we've got. That's the Panzer II gearbox. It's all been pulled apart just to check it, and it's just been put in storage. Yeah, that'll be a Steve job, mate. I'm not allowed near anything too technical.
So there you have it, a really special project that we're really excited to start. To think there are more restored Tigers than Panzer IIs out there, and you would be hard-pressed to find one with a higher percentage of original parts than this. However, while we're all really excited for this project in particular, there's still a vehicle in the pipeline that the boys have to finish before we can make a start on our Panzer II lowercase c. And that's the Wespe.
We're back in the museum where we've had this stored since it arrived. This is our Wespe. It's built on a extended chassis of a Panzer II. Mate, this one is in fantastic condition.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a little bit of damage. We don't know if it's from war or from scrapping. Someone's had a go at repairing it. You can see some of this original plate's been welded with stainless steel rod where it's been fractured along here. Someone's cut in a new corner piece here. Here you can see a brand new piece of angle irons being fitted with galvanised bolts at some stage. They put them in. We'll change all that out. They're actually a castellated nut. Yeah, so I imagine that would have been the same right through. And when you get back to here where they've gone back to the original here again. The other really good thing about this, all the tool holders and brackets are in the position where they've got to be. Normally we have to look at photos and try and get an idea of how things were fitted. This is your jack, which we have. The jack came with it. This is your wooden block to go under the jack in case you're in soft sand. You've got your small axe here, and there's a few other bits and pieces here. But having these main ones in position gives us a good guide for what's got to go in there. The suspension doesn't look too bad. At the moment it's sitting on only 2 road wheels this side, and it's looking pretty good. The other day when we're looking at the bump stops, that gives you an idea of how those bump stops operate. You can see it's a stress fracture or crack on the armour plate. The other big problem we're going to face with this is, can you see the blown out rust here? So we'll completely pull this apart. The other problem we've got is this mudguard comes across, and where it's been connected on the angle line underneath, it starts to rust away. But it looks like someone has put another sheet underneath to try and save it. So we'll have when we pull it apart, we'll have a good look at that. There's another stress fracture there on the side. And then coming along here, you can see major rust under here. And here's a really good example of where the rust is blown out. Basically, we just got to pull it apart, chip all the loose rust off, sandblast it, paint it, and then we'll probably put that in the press and very gently try and re-straighten it. If it's armour plate, we'll probably have to heat it. Repair there, repair here. And I think a lot of this is new. From here up to about here's new. They've cut in a new bit. These are the things that usually get bumped and knocked off first, these hooks to put a canvas cover across the top of it.
That idler wheel looks pretty banged up.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be repairable. We can take that off. If not, I'm pretty sure we've got a spare up in the shed. But because this has come with the vehicle, if it's repairable, we'll try and keep it on the vehicle.
How similar is this rear to a regular Panzer II?
Well, a little bit different to what I've seen in pictures. This one's got a convoy light here. The piece that we have on for our other project has got a different fitting here. It has a little armoured cover that we showed you the other day and 2 mounting points, so that's different. But they have extended the chassis on this to fit the gun, to give it more room for the gun.
How does it look inside, Daryl?
It looks remarkably well. It's got all the racks for the little shell cases. They've got a little short case for the 105. Fire extinguisher over there. All these other fittings here are for other toolboxes, I think. Same again, little storage box. Yeah, we'll pull all this out, give it a good sandblast and paint it. Well, it looks like these ammo box lids have already been remade. Someone's gone to the effort and remade them already. You can see inside it's all rusted and that. So we'll have to research whether that was more shell cases or that's actually the projectiles, but I can't see how the projectiles would fit in there. What we'll start with is we'll remove the gun. It just bolts on underneath here on some fittings. So we'll just lift that out with a crane. Everything that needs to be done to that's done. So that'll probably go off and get sandblasted as the first thing and come back and be put in storage. It'll be the first thing out and the last thing back in. The next will be take the shield off, the outer shield, and then the superstructure, and then we'll get down into the hull itself. We can take the motor, gearbox out, check all the final drives, and work on that. The engine in it has been exposed to the elements. I think that the tappet cover on the top's been opened. We're not sure about the engine to go on this yet. The transmission we're hoping will be okay. Steve's already worked on the Stug 3 transmission, and what he did there was wonderful, so we're hoping he can do his same magic on this one. I think the biggest challenge is going to be pulling it apart, getting access into undo hot bolts that have been seized for 80 years. A lot of those bolts are castellated nuts, so they'll have a split pin through them, so that could provide a challenge. I think we might just have to delete most of them if they don't come off nicely. This is the front plate that we're going to have to take off. It has the driver's vision port and hatch in it, all in one piece, but it's fixed in with these little taper head bolts. We'll heat them up and see if they'll come loose. If they won't unbolt easy, we'll probably end up put a double weld on there, so it'll stop them spinning, and hopefully we'll be able to get them out. This is where the spare track goes on. I think that's the bit of track we showed you the other day when we were up the storeroom. It's got that bar, it was all bent, that holds the track in place.
So you're looking forward to this one, Daryl?
I really am. We finish a project and we're always thinking ahead to what's next, and this is going to be great. We've got to finish off the 221. It's going to get sandblasted over the Christmas period. We'll come back and paint it. And then we've got a few other little jobs, displays, easy displays we want to make for the museum. We've got a little flamingo turret. We'll probably do the Panzer II turret and get that on display. Some Panther parts, side parts of a Panther, blown up wheels, all that sort of thing we want to get on display so that people can see it. And then onto this.